The first thing I just thought I'd kick off with is there's a great deal of skepticism about the whole track 2 process right now. And you have had numbers of people in Indian politics, including some people close to the ruling party, saying this is all a complete waste of time and, why bother talking about it. Can you give us a little sense of why you're persisting with this process in the face of quite a negative atmosphere?
Okay, I can only briefly start responding to you what I did when I was foreign minister. This cynicism is not simply in India. There was a high-powered Indian parliamentary delegation, and there were top journalists and other people, civil society activists who were visiting Islamabad. I'd recently taken over as foreign minister. There was strong advice that I not receive them. I couldn't for the life of me see what the advantage would be. They gave all technical reasons that I'm now foreign minister, I'm no longer this, that or the other. And I not only met them, I insisted that they meet the president and the prime minister. That set the ball rolling. Most people have forgotten. I'll mention that in my book, that I attach a lot of importance. So I am telling you by my own track record that I was immensely helped by civil society interaction. On one occasion in particular, the Indian media played a positive role in bailing me out when I got into trouble because of wrong reporting from Washington. It's the Indian media, because I was interacting with the Indian media also directly, bypassing all hurdles. Previously, if the call from Delhi came to the Foreign Office, it would not be given to the Foreign Minister. I gave instructions. If I will decide who I talk to. So if the first woman journalist, one day after I took over, rang and they were almost trembling. They said, there's a woman journalist from India. So would you like? I said, I will. And they couldn't understand why. The reason I used to take these calls and also took the risk of being misquoted is that that is the only way I could get to the people of India. By talking at Hyderabad House with my counterpart, nothing would come out except a spin the next day in Pakistani papers and in Indian papers. And the incident I want to narrate to you is that when we thought everything was hunky-dory, it was going on beautifully in Pakistan and India, and I'm proud of the fact that I was associated. That's why I'm a born optimist, but there's a reason why I'm optimistic on Pakistan and India. I saw it there. Full stops, commas, semicolons for 3 years. It's not hot air. Hard work was done. There's a framework in the, known to 5 or 6 people in India. It was known to 5 or 6 in Pakistan at that time. I'm sure the current government here knows it, the current government in Pakistan knows it. The Indian army, I'm sure, knows about it, and the Pakistan army knows about it. So I got into trouble. Mumbai serial bombings, which is that Murphy's Law, if something can go wrong, it will. When everything was going on beautifully, I was in Washington addressing either Carnegie or some other think tank. And beautifully everything was going on. I thought we could be more open, and the Indians used to talk openly about their problems, and I thought we could promote the process. At a certain hour, I was addressing them, and they asked me a question on Kashmir. And I said, it'd be very grateful, it will be greatly facilitated, our relationship. And 2 hours later, I was told there was serial bombing in Mumbai. 2 hours later, the first thing I did, at another think tank, the first thing when I took the mic, I said, I commiserate, it's a disaster. If you Google, you will now be able to find everything. I said, it's a disaster. It's an attempt to wreck the peace process. But what does the Ministry of External Affairs in Delhi, because of misreporting by somebody present in Washington, that Foreign Minister Kasuri says as long as Kashmir is there, these things will, if you may recollect, they will continue to happen. I was absolutely, I didn't know what to do. So what I did was I said, no, nothing that appears in Pakistani papers will have any impact. I talked to some of the top media people in India. I had myself interviewed. Within 24 hours, it was corrected by the Indian media that that statement was misreported. He actually began his press conference by commiserating with the victims. So the point is, you cannot get anywhere if you rely only on official channels. Because official channels of Pakistan and India, we have excellent diplomats. And I would not have said that if I had not been foreign minister of Pakistan. Excellent diplomats in Pakistan and India, young men who devote their careers as regards the first line of defense. But they spend their entire lives, comma, full stop, paragraph. And at the end of it, I remember at NAM conference, Indians were trying their best to get a paragraph deleted on terrorism and liberation movements. And equally persistent young Pakistani officers wanted that paragraph included. And I mention it in my book. We succeeded, we celebrated. But where did it get us? So these Pyrrhic victories, I'm not running down foreign service officials. They are trained for that. But there is a world beyond full stops and commas. When you've got to get to the heart of the matter, to the real kernel of the problem. So I feel that when you ask me, there is a lot of cynicism about the track 2. One reason why I succeeded beyond others is that I did not entirely rely on official machinery. In fact, sometimes both Indian and Pakistani governments are very unhappy with my continued statements when I used to say, oh, we are making a lot of progress. The Indians didn't wish to tell the public, and the Pakistanis who didn't agree with me were very angry. But why was I doing it? There was a method to the madness. I wanted people to realize that all is not lost, that Pakistan and India can resolve each other's bilaterally. And more importantly, my fear was that when the whole thing came into the open, unless the public opinion were prepared, there could be a very strong reaction in both Pakistan and India, because there are lots of naysayers on both sides. So I did it. In fact, on one occasion, Mr. Advani raised an adjournment motion in the Lok Sabha. You may recollect. He said the Foreign Minister of Pakistan keeps on saying he's making progress.
What is this progress?
And what the hell is this? Our Prime Minister is not telling us. He moved an adjournment motion. Next time I came, I decided to call on Mr. Vajpayee, who was then out of office, and also on Mr. Advani. And so I said, when we read a news item in Pakistani newspapers, that Prime Minister Manmohan Singh has invited Mr. Advani and Mr. Vajpayee to lunch. So he assumed that after the adjournment motion, they've been briefed on the back channel. So the first thing I said to Mr. Vajpayee when I called on him, I said, sir, I hope there'll be no scope for another adjournment motion. You have been briefed by the Prime Minister. So he says to me in his inimitable style, there are huge silences when he talks. But his health is, I believe, not good. I'm talking when his health was good then. But there was huge gaps. You could drive an elephant through it. And he says, हाँ, खाना बहुत अच्छा खिलाया. So the point is, I was doing it purposely because I wanted to prepare the public in Pakistan. There was a very strong feeling against me. There were editorials against me when I took over. They said he's a soft foreign minister. I thought I was serving Pakistan's national interest best, because most of our problems have come out of this sense of rivalry, of continuous acrimony with India.